Soundtrack.
Are you cold? Are you cold? Oh my God.
Good evening, y'all. This is Spencer Keck with the Hillbilly Think Tank, and I am the educated hillbilly. No, that's not an oxymoron. Don't call me a moron. So, y'all, coming at you live from Tunnel Hills here in Hardin County, Kentucky, where I'm running for Magistrate District 3. And out here, we are dedicated to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And nothing is better than service with honor. And that's what we're here to talk about today. You know, so many of us in this county served our neighbors with love, honor, respect. We were in the military. We have the highest percentage of veterans of any other county in this state. And this state has a lot of veterans in it. We're probably right up, they call Tennessee the volunteer state, but it's all of these states in this corner of the nation that have the highest amount of folks that volunteered. So why do I talk about that? Well, we're in an all volunteer military, and we have been since the early 70s when Carter got rid of the draft. And I proudly served over 20 years of my life with the uniform, fought in 2 wars. I am not a fan of unnecessary wars. I'm all about national defense. I'm all about defending democracy around the world. But you convinced me that this is what's going on. All right, y'all. Well, for that, let's give you a little update. Freedom from Fascism February, it came and went successfully. Freedom from buying balderdash from the balding billionaire Jeff Bezos, and all of his bombastic bullshit that he likes to put out, such as the Grifter movie that I didn't watch, and most people really didn't either. I went 28 days successful throughout February without giving Bezos a dime. I'm now 29 days successful. Today has made me realize more than ever do we need to gather around our community, buy local, support each other locally, and push back, give real resistance to those who would use war as a political end to have us avert our eyes from the files. Because that's what the Epstein class wants. So I'm not going to use any enablers of fascism. I'm going to look for more to unsubscribe and resist from. All right? I'm going to participate in the mutual aid of my fellow Hardin, Kentucky folks. That is my goal from here on out. End fascism and support local. it'll spread. This is mutual aid at its root. Before we go on, hey, we got Jonathan. Jonathan says, "What's up, brother? Hey, how are you doing? Hope it is good down in your neck of the woods." So, why is this so important? Well, it's actually turned out that $270 million was the hit that the corporations took from anyone who went to Scott Galloway's resist and unsubscribe. And if you went in there, I did it just for Amazon, and then I added on Microsoft. You know, my kids don't have the Xbox Live account again, and I will make sure that they do not open it again in order to keep from help in that part of the Epstein class. And I'm going to look for more. There's more on the list. My next big hit is going to be getting rid of AT&T because they have a huge account with these fascist corporations. Well, not corporations, with the government, namely ICE and more. So I'm going to look at another tough thing. Since I've been addicted to AT&T for quite a while, I support them because they have union companies, but we got to bring this fascism down. It's just it. Fair and simple. It's what it is. You know? So what are you going to do? What are we going to do together? What can we do? You know, because I'm not a fortunate son. I don't know about most of you. I'm pretty sure if you live in this county, yeah, there might be some that are a bit more fortunate than others, but I doubt there are really any of the Epstein class living here in this county. So we need to realize that it is the Epstein class against us. They are not accountable. We're accountable for all of our actions. We own what we do. Whether we succeed or whether we fail, we own it. They don't. So I'm blessed by living in Hardin County and in a state that where we believe united we stand, divided we fall. And so I'm going to stand with you against the voices that would pit us one against the other instead of realizing it's just us against the unaccountable class. Because here in Kentucky, we know how to build community. We build community by having strong relationships with our neighbors. Well, y'all, so that reminds me, Captain Bonespurs insulted NATO combat veterans back in January while at a conference in Europe. I think it might have even been a NATO conference when he said European troops stayed away from the front lines in Afghanistan, even though veterans, U.S. veterans like myself, know that's not true. Now Captain Bonespurs here has told us, oh, some heroes will die. That is war. Well, that's true, but that's also very glib, especially glib for Captain Bonespurs. Is he going to make sure that Barron, his son, now joins the infantry and is in the front lines? Of course not. Is he going to make sure that Eric joins the infantry and leads the assault? Of course not. Is he going to make sure that Don Jr. puts on the uniform, sights in his rifle with his infantry platoon, and sets out in the front lines? Of course not. Epstein class, they do not join the military and go to the front lines. He didn't. Why do we expect that they would? Now, if you're, please, if you're one of those people who voted for Captain Bonespurs because Stephen Miller, Tulsi Gabbard, Putin, and Captain Bonespurs himself, Dementia Don, said they were the anti-war politicians, please give me a call. Call me right now and tell me how you were so right. Own it. Own what you did because you voted for this. I'm sure you must think Dementia Don is very courageous now, even though he never put combat boots on his bone spurs and he never loaded up a combat backpack with 70 pounds of combat gear to march through the jungles of Vietnam, nor through the deserts of Afghanistan, Pakistan, Africa, Iraq, the Philippines, any of the places that we've been fighting in the war on terror. Now, I also want to know, all of you who voted for this and cheer it on, where were you during that 20-year war? Did you go raise your right hand and swear to defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic? Were you in the desert with me? Were you watching your friends get holes blown in them? Did you go to Walter Reed like I did when my brother lost his leg and hand? And stay by his bedside for hours and days and tears while his war-ravaged body was repaired but never back to normal? Were you there the day that my dad gave me a call after he found that same brother not even 5 years later, dead in his closet? I don't think so. But give me a fucking call now and own up to your vote, because you voted for this shit. You told me you voted because this was the anti-war president. Give me a fucking call. Own it. Own your fucking vote right the fuck now. Tell me how proud you are that 3 service members just died and 5 more were wounded. Tell me how proud you are right now that Shiite rioters have attacked the consulate in Karachi, and U.S. Marines are right now with live ammunition firing at those rioters to keep the consulate from being burned to the ground with all the Americans alive in it. Own it. Own your goddamn fucking vote right the fuck now. And give me a fucking call. My phone line's open. I haven't changed my number. Let me know how proud you are of this fucking shit. Own it. I dare you. I'm waiting. Give it a few more seconds here. Anybody going to call? Anybody got the balls to call and own their vote? Guess not. Yeah, I didn't see you out there with that backpack, 70 pounds of gear or more, plus your weapon and all your ammunition. And if you did, and you're proud of it, hey, you own it. You have that right to be. But if you didn't, and you're cheering on so glibly the heroes, they're going to die, and that just died, the 3 that just died, the 5 that are wounded. Yeah. No, still don't hear my phone ringing. No one willing to cheer about this, about voting for the deaths of these 3 service members and the wounding of the 5 others? Because this anti-war dementia Don told you? Or are you just too embarrassed to sack up and admit that you were that gullible? Still waiting on the phone call. Nope, phone's not ringing. So, what are we going to do? Is Baron Trump on the ramparts right now, there at the consulate? Or is he a Bonespurs boy too? Pretty sure he's a Bonespurs boy. The Epstein class is very worried now. So worried that they're willing to go to war to keep the files from being revealed and to keep our eyes off of the files They have subverted the Constitution, and without a declaration of war, without congressional authorization, and without the consent of the governed, they have started a war. It's their war. This is their war. Well, in the meantime, I'm going to keep on resisting and unsubscribing. All these corporations, they're going to make money right now off of this war. I'm not going to buy for them. Are you? We've got so many great local businesses. I went and bought some brand new shoes yesterday from Running Souls and the Square in Elizabethtown. So proud to put my money back locally. Great fitting shoes, great service, great folks there. I ate at a local Taqueria Azteca today. Again, doing everything local. And we go out this evening with my wife and see if we can stroll around, find some more local things to do to support our local folks. Local mutual aid. That's what it's about. Keep our money local, our tax base local. That's the only way we can stop this nonsense. And again, this isn't left or right. This isn't progressive, liberal, or conservative. This is Americans being lied to. And it affects us. It affects us dearly. This county has the most veterans per capita of any other county in Kentucky. We have veterans here who served in that 20-year war that went on way too long, and we were told there wasn't going to be another one in the Middle East. Well, here we go. So, who else is disturbed by this? Who else is ready for this to end? I urge you, go to Scott Galloway's site, Resist and Unsubscribe. It's a website called Resist and Unsubscribe. Now, after having a $270 million impact, we got to do more. They did not put the pressure on Captain Bonespurs enough for him to realize he can't get away with this. It's not such a glib thing to send us to war and, oh, some heroes will die. He didn't do anything that like what has been done in the past when we decide, oh, there's a nation that's not acting right. He didn't go to NATO. He didn't go to the United Nations. He didn't build a coalition of the willing. He didn't lay out a case to us to where this has to be done. Yet here we are. No congressional approval, even though that's what the Constitution says has to happen. Just, Israel wants us to do it. Netanyahu wants us to do it. We want to do it. We're going to do it. So I thought that all the bombings we did destroyed all the nuclear capabilities. We did that a couple months ago. That's what I was told last time. Weren't you? Yet here we have to go doing this. Interesting. Got Tom on here. Tom, late to the party. May not get to stay. I'll try to watch the result. All right. Well, the result is, Tom, I'm just waiting on folks to call me and own their vote. All these folks that told me they were voting for the anti-war candidate, the anti-nuclear candidate. Here we are. And is this what we voted for? There were so many lies told to us, it's hard to keep track, says Tom. Yeah, and every day they keep on ticking up. We keep getting more and more. But again, the main lie I'm waiting on, someone give me a call. Still waiting to hear my phone ring. 270-872-3732. Give me a call. Tell me that you're owning your vote, that you're proud to have just voted for 3 service members to die, 5 others to be wounded, for rioters, Shiite rioters, to attack the consulate in Karachi, and for United States Marines to have to repel them with live rounds. Tell me this is what you voted for. Tell me that you voted for the drones that were flown into and attacked Bahrain in a counterattack, the ones that went into Dubai, and the ones that went into Israel, and the ones that went into Saudi Arabia. That you voted for that. A war has started. He didn't get the war he wanted, I guess, in Venezuela. And now Captain Bonespurs is going to send us off to many others. Guys, again, he never put any boots on those Bonespurs. And I'm sure Baron Trump is not getting fitted for any right now. I bet you if any of his kids were to join the military, it would be the Space Force, where they'd be in the United States, far, far, far away from any action, but then they would try to claim to be patriots that put on the uniform. Tom says, people in my social media feeds tell me that Harris would have done this too, but I don't think she would have. Well, that was what we were told the whole time. All right, you can go back and see Stephen Miller telling us, oh, a vote for Harris is a vote for war with Iran. Oh, a vote for Harris is a vote for war and sending your kids to war. Tulsi Gabbard, same thing. She was supposed to be the dove candidate. Hell, I haven't thought I liked her a bit in the very beginning when she was a Democrat trying to run for presidency. Now I see she's Putin's bitch. That's what it is. Everyone here is Putin's bitch and Netanyahu's bitch. Prove me wrong. Give me a call. Prove me wrong. Prove me how your vote for these bitches was correct and that it was anti-war, that your vote was against endless wars. I'm waiting. No one's calling. Interesting. All right, y'all. So I'm back to it. 29 days now, free from buying balderdash from that bombastic billionaire, bumbling son of a bitch, Bezos. I got off of Xbox Live, which Microsoft's product. Now that we know how Bill Gates really is, he's part of the Epstein class. He was good at trying to disguise himself, act like he wasn't. And AT&T is my next stop. That's going to be tough, maybe even tougher than getting off of Amazon. All right. Tom says, heck, I was saying in 2002 that if George Walker Bush wanted to go to war, he would do the Kings of Lore and lead from the front, and his outfit should have the logo from that department store based in Minnesota. That would be Target, of course. Yeah. Yeah, and we know that Captain Bonespurs is not putting on a uniform, nor having his kids do that to lead from the front. But he's glibly cheering us on. So glib for him. Oh, some heroes will die. That's war. Interesting. When you knew that and your daddy knew that, boy, they made sure to make up that Bonespurs story for you. Even though we know that you were in the marching band all through high school and college. You know, didn't hurt you to march on concrete in the band. But it sure would have hurt to go to Vietnam. Yep, Epstein class. This is the Epstein war. Anything to avoid the files. Well, y'all, I'm going to concentrate on making sure that here in Hardin County, regardless of how we voted in the last election, this coming election, let's vote for mutual aid of our county. Put our money where our mouth is, and buy local. It is time for me to make sure that I buy a local cow, local pig, get them slaughtered locally so I can see how they were grown, how they're raised, and make sure that I'm buying meat from here in this state, in this county. You know, I've lived in Kentucky where we have so much farming going on. How often can you go to the store and actually see that the beef that you're buying was from Kentucky? Heck, even when I lived in Montana, where they grow so much beef, you couldn't find anything in the store grown in Montana. That's because we only have 4 meat packers left in the United States. They've got a monopoly. So I'm going to buy local, and I'm going to make sure that I keep my produce from here in this county, and that I know that I'm helping out local farmer. Did that with the running shoes yesterday. Bought them at Running Souls in Elizabethtown. Great running shop, owned by a veteran, putting the money back into the community. Y'all, what else can we do? Well, number one, we can just remember, vote for me for magistrate, District 3. And remember again, Kentucky, united we stand, divided we fall. We are our brother's keeper. We are our sister's keeper. Here in Hardin County, we love our neighbor as ourselves because we know that if we're loving our neighbors, we will be united. Tom notices the patch. Gun rights are workers' rights. Shout out to our folks in Harlan County all those years ago and in Blair Mountain. All right, y'all. Bless you all. Corazon. Have a great evening and have a great week. Let's remember everyone deployed.